This is the Personal Foul Podcast. You got a date of September 19th, 2019. Got my man Al coming on the show this week, doing well for himself. Also, Rowan Prof, just like myself. What's up, Al? Thanks for coming on, man.
What's going on, brother?
Not too much, man. But you can reach Al. He's doing pretty well for himself. He's got a show October 9th at Rowan University with special guest Raul Douglas coming on, Philadelphia Eagle. But tell me more about that, man. You're doing pretty well for yourself.
I'm not doing that great. You make me sound like I'm like a celebrity or something.
Hey, man, you're doing well for yourself out here. So,
hey, I'm trying to catch up to you, bro. But yeah, the show is like a podcast like you have, but it's more so of a live show, and it's based at school. The show is really like is like my alter ego as a person, like like the two sides of Al. One side in which is like a serious person, and the other side is like a clown on stage. We talk about a series of topics that involve college life, sports, clothing. We talk about just all around beings of being a young adult, the challenges, and then we also have games and entertainment. And then like this next coming show, Raul Douglas will be on the show, and that's like one of my best friends. So he'll be on to talk about his journey from East Orange to the NFL.
That's awesome. It's actually really cool that you're having him on, Philadelphia Eagle, on the show. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, even though our Steelers suck, but we'll let that go.
Yeah, they're struggling. We'll get to them. But to start off with the former Steeler, Antonio Brown, I know there's a lot going on right now with him in the news, with the rape accusations and all that. What's your take on that with AB?
Honestly, if you're going off of what has been coming out with the allegations, they're all false. If you're going to try to desecrate a man's character, do it in a way that you're bringing facts about things that he has done or bring things to light of stuff that was in hiding. If they went to the I think the Pittsburgh police, Oakland, and even now in where he was at in Miami, where he lives and stuff like that, they have never seen or filed a report of a woman making any claims until now, where he's in the limelight and he's in a bad position to where the news and the narrative of him is like terrible. So I think they're just trying to capitalize off just saying that this man is bad for business, character issues, and etc. And that's bad for someone who is so talented, because today I read something where Nike took away his sponsorship.
Yeah, I was going to get into that. Yes, Nike did take away his sponsorship, his shoe deal and everything. So it's kind of crazy to think this man was one of the best wideouts, still is one of the best wideouts in football, and everything's just crashing down. And it's a shame with all the rape accusations, because in America we have to support women coming out, because that's very tough for women to come out against men, going after men and after everything, because it's humiliating to a lot of these women. But it's a shame if this isn't true. And as you did say, some of the stuff does look a little iffy, and all of a sudden now it's coming out. When you got pictures of these guys, these two with him and the girl that first came out, you got pictures and videos of them all laughing and stuff, and it's like, all right, this doesn't seem right.
And then sometimes a lot of these women, I don't want to sound like a jerk because I have 5 sisters, but a lot of women, even from a women's point of view, they'll tell you women are opportunists. Like they see that there's something to gain from it, so they'll try to make a narrative or a story just to get themselves in a position to where they can, not benefit, but like have some small gain. It could be like a small settlement for $500,000. She don't care as long as she got that money, But I don't think that Antonio Brown has 4 or 5 kids. He's happily married to his woman, and even his woman is backing him. So it's like, where are these girls that are coming from with this all of a sudden? And he's 11 years into his career and has never had anything troubling until this past season where everything been in the news. But I just don't get it. I think that is all false. I'm not I can't say it's all false, because maybe one might be right, or he probably talked to one in a certain manner, but she felt like it was type of harassment. But like that's not something that you come out and say rape, because once a woman says rape, you know they're gonna go with their word against the man regardless.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, and it's kind of like taking advantage because Antonio Brown's been clean his whole career. He's had his issues on the field. You see a few things off the field with the throwing of the furniture. I think that was like 2 seasons ago, but nothing too serious like this. And it's a shame because he is probably one of the most talented wideouts in the league right now. And as you did touch on, he's been in the light after everything in Oakland went down, and it's like perfect timing for something like this to come up, and ironically, it did.
Let me ask you this: do you think that the whole ordeal with him and his antics was staged?
What, to get himself to New England? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, a lot of people are saying it that way, but he's also been. It's not like this is new to anybody. That Antonio Brown's a little nut job, and he's got a few loose screws in his head. So he's been like that in Pittsburgh. So could it be that way that he plotted his way to New England? Very well. He very well could have. But I don't know. I cannot tell you 100%. I'm not Adam Schefter, all these guys getting all this information. But he very well could have. And he's a smart guy. So
To be honest with you, all football players, something got to be mentally wrong with them. To think about it, because I talked to Sewell about this. I asked him, like, to play football at that level, to tell me every play you got to hit a man every day, full contact through and through. Something psychologically has to be damaged up there. There's no way I'm putting my body through that. So all these athletes have loose screws, but for you to try to loose screws like to play that sport, but like when you try to go at somebody's character, that's a different thing. That's their morals, how they were brought up, and their understanding of people and their humane. So I don't think that what they're doing with the narrative is right. I think somebody should try to find the real story and break it through. But that doesn't sell. Everybody wants the juicy nonsense.
that's usually how it is. That's usually the news you do see. You don't really see any positive news in the news. It's usually negative stuff, and here's the negative stuff with Antonio Brown. And it's a shame because if this is all false, him not losing his deal with the Nike now is an issue. I mean, that's money that he's losing. He lost some money already with going from Oakland to New England with all this drama and stuff going on. He's lost a lot of money in the process of all this, getting fined in Oakland.
Nike trifling though. I tweeted today. You dropped AB, but you kept Tiger like years ago when Tiger was going through all that in the news. You keep Tiger, but you drop Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown is not even like this came out with him and having the things confirmed. This is like he's in the news for like bad stuff. And it's not even like really bad. They're just trying to find something to blackball him off.
Yeah, it's very weird because, as you did touch on with the stuff with Tiger, it's very weird because none of this is confirmed. So that's what's weird about this whole thing, why they would drop him now. It just kind of doesn't add up.
That's America for you.
Yeah, it is. We live in a negative, light and stinks. But as you did touch on with our Steelers, they are struggling right now, 0-2 to start out of the gate. What do you expect from Mason Rudolph?
Oh Lord! I don't know because I'm still a little upset about Josh Dobbs because Josh Dobbs, if he was given the proper time, I mean, you like in the not the preseason this year, yeah, a little bit this year and last year, you saw sparks of his ability and what he can do within like a RPO system, and I think that the offense of the Steelers changes per quarterback. Like for example, when we had like Mike Vick, and he took us on that little 4-5 game streak. They changed the offense to his strengths, and I think that Josh Dobbs' strengths brought a different element that the Steelers didn't have. Plus he's younger, so Mason Rudolph is more of the pro style, and I'm not too sure if I'm not too sure if there's a package for him in the system that can be effective towards how he played in Oklahoma to the Steelers. But he did show sparks with the way that he played against Seattle, that he can stay in a pocket, that he can be precise. His decision making was all right. I mean, he didn't play much of the game, but I just would like them to find, like, you know how they do with like the quarterbacks where it's like they have little small drag routes, in cuts, small things that are not too complex. I think if the Steelers just use that part of their playbook and incorporate that, he just can be a game manager, not trying to be a superhero. So if he can do that, at least we can probably get a game or two, sneak 3 in there, and see if Ben can work his way back. But even Ben be making me mad because his decision making sometimes is out of whack. But Mason, I would have preferred to keep Josh Dobbs, but I hope Mason at least at least win the games we're supposed to win. Like teams that we're supposed to beat. But we'll see.
Wow, shocking that you're that high on Dobbs. I thought Josh Dobbs had his moments, but I really am in on Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State. He's got his former number one guy in James Washington on the roster. I think that connection is going to be very well here with the rest of the season being Mason Rudolph, as Ben had surgery on his elbow, which takes him out for the rest of the season. But I'm very high on Rudolph. I think the offensive line is going to give him plenty of time to sit back there, go through his reads. And you saw it in preseason. He looked very, very good in the preseason with the Steelers offense, with the number ones out there at times.
But hold on. But Mason's getting an opportunity that Dobbs never got.
Well, Dobbs had moments last year. Dobbs played last year. He had moments when he had to play when Ben got hurt.
Like 2 series. Like, for example, against Oakland, he played like 3 series. Then Ben said, you know what, let me get back in the game. And then we lost because Boswell wants to trip and fall on a field goal.
Well, Dobbs played like 2 quarters in that game against Oakland, and it didn't go well, and figure how bad Oakland was last year, and defensively how bad Oakland was last year. And he had opportunities. Like I said, he also came
That game, we were just shitty.
Yeah, but we're always bad against the bad teams. That's why I blame Mike Tomlin, but I'll save that for another day. Oh, man, Mike Tomlin. But anyway, back on to Josh Dobbs. He did make a very good throw. I think it was against the Ravens last year when he came in when Ben got hurt, and the Steelers were in deep trouble. They're back in their own 5, and Josh Dobbs came in and made a huge throw for the Steelers and got a first down to Juju Smith-Schuster. So I do understand what you're talking about. I think the Steelers made the right decisions moving on from Josh Dobbs. They just did not want to cut Dobbs because they knew there was a value for him.
Yeah, talent.
Yeah, there was value for him, and thankfully they did move him to Jacksonville, which we'll be seeing tonight on Thursday Night Football. But that was a great job of the Steelers holding on to him to get a draft pick for Josh Dobbs, who is now in Jacksonville as the backup.
Wait, what if he plays tonight? What if What gets hurt?
Gardner Minshew gets hurt. He might.
Yo, Jacksonville O-line is disgusting. Disgustingly bad.
Yeah, they couldn't keep Foles up, which would have been interesting to see, and it hurt the fantasy value of Leonard Fournette and D.D. Westbrook, guys like that.
Leonard ain't even going. He's not going to get 1,000 yards neither.
Yeah, he's been killing me. I took him again this year, so hopefully, has a solid season. I'm not going to go crazy, but
you was better off taking Adrian Peterson than Leonard Fournette.
Oh, whoa, easy. AP
had 1,000
wasn't.
yards last year. Y'all forgetting that at 33 years old.
AP wasn't supposed to play this year. Geis got hurt again.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. You would be better off trying to get you AP. And AP gonna still get 1,000 yards this season. Watch.
We'll see. The Redskins are a train wreck. But to continue on the Steelers, they brought in Minkah Fitzpatrick, Jersey product.
My boy, I played against him in high school.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, yes. Alabama man, traded away a first-round pick. Steelers do not do that very often, but they do trade away the first-round pick to bring in Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Miami Dolphins. He is playing this Sunday against the 49ers. What's your take on the Steelers bringing in Minkah?
Minkah, Minka is a player that I've known since high school. I played against him. I went to camps. Seen him at a lot of camps where he outdoed everybody. So I think that for us, you know how like how Seattle had their defense where they had Browner, Sherman, they had what you call it, Cam, Earl, and what's the other boy that was on that? Like Maxwell was in the slot. I think Minka would be a good slot corner for us.
But
It's all
We got Mike Hilton in the slot. I'm
yeah.
very high on Mike Hilton actually.
But that's the thing. I'm high on Mike Hilton too, but Minka just has more size than Mike Hilton.
I think
Um,
I think that what they were talking about with using Minka is they're going to have him start off at safety where he's more comfortable at. He prefers to play safety where he's roaming around doing his own thing, kind of using his IQ, which he has back there. He's a very smart player. You've heard Nick Saban say that he's a very smart player. And I think they're going to try using him back there to start off. It's easier for him to pick up the defense on a short week, and then they'll eventually start moving him around the defense using his utility and all over the place.
yeah, he's super intelligent. And you can see it from the way that he reads formations, and he pinpoints routes. Sometimes he does get beat because he overplays, but I think we need that type of aggressive corner or safety or whatever position that he's going to be playing. Because I feel like in our secondary, Lord Jesus, you got to pray for our secondary. Because it's like this. Sean Davis has potential. Mike Hilton plays well.
Well, they're letting. I think that move bringing in Fitzpatrick's going to say goodbye to Sean Davis, who is actually on the IL now.
Yeah, he is on the IL.
I think it was a move for the
his
Steelers.
Potential though.
He's very talented coming out of Maryland, but I think the Steelers are moving on from him after the season. I don't think they want to.
Okay, so how about this? How if Minka switches positions and plays as safety, make Sean strong and put Minka as free. I'm saying if Sean gets healthy by like mid-season, because I think that would probably work in the favor, and they're both 6-foot guys, so it's not like they're small corners, or like they're small DBs. And then you can leave Mike in the slot, Joe Hayden on the outside. Who's the other outside? Is it Sutton?
No, Steven Nelson. Sutton plays a slot on the other side as well.
Yes, Steven Nelson. I think that's Sutton should be playing corner, but that's just me. But I mean, the Steelers secondary is up in the air. But it's so hard for me to watch us play though. It gets harder now, like understanding like we're really now having to develop our young not our young core, because we don't know which the young core is. We don't know who's going to be traded or not. But having to see them develop in a season to where we know we're not going to go far. So it's like having to watch that as a fan from 5 years of AB, Ben, and Le'Veon, and then we got Juju in. It's like, ooh, could that have lasted if AB didn't go on his tantrum and all of that extra stuff, or L Bell didn't hold out. It just seems to me like this season's probably going to be just a rough growing pains.
I actually see the opposite. I think the Steelers made this trade knowing that Mason had potential to hold the fort down with the offense, because the offensive line is still the best in the division, one of the top offenses in football, offensive lines in football. They got Juju, they got James Conner, both Pro Bowl guys. I think they like Vance McDonald. And at the same time, the Steelers see Mason in practice. The media and all the other people do not see what the Steelers see in Mason Rudolph. That's the guy they see in practice. And he's very similar to Ben. He's got a big arm. He's very tall, 6'5". He can sit behind in the pocket, take some hits. And I think he fits in very well to the offense. We don't have to make many adjustments. For Mason, he's already been in the offense for a year. He's learned the playbook, sat behind Ben. I think the Steelers know that they can just put him into the lineup, not have to change much offensively. And the fact that they have so many first-round guys on defense, you got Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, Mark Barron, who they brought over, Devin Bush, Bud Dupree, Joe Hayden, Terrell Edmonds, now Minkah Fitzpatrick. There's a lot of talent on the defense and a lot of high draft picks. To Stephon Tuitt in the second round, they have a ton of players on the defense. Can Keith Butler put them in position to make plays? That is the question I'm looking for.
And that's the biggest question. Can they bend but not break? Because if you watch the New England Patriots play when they play in big games, the defense will bend, but they won't break. They'll come up with plays. They'll find a way. And it's like in the division in which we play where offenses are so high now, even if you're looking at the Ravens, they got an offense. Browns, their offense is the only sorry team that's in our division is the Bengals. And this is going to be sorry. But then we got to see, if we go to the playoffs, we have to see the Patriots. We'll have to see the Ravens. We'll have to probably see Kansas City. If the Chargers get there. It's how can the defense come together to hold these offensive to where at a minimum to where the offense can at least – I think if we can at least score 21 points a game, we're in position. But the defense has to hold up.
It's going to be interesting because I think the defense – we saw in preseason. Preseason, big difference between preseason and, regular season. But defense looked very good. They got pressure. And it just – what drives me nuts with Mike Tomlin, they do not make adjustments. The Steelers hammered Russell Wilson in the first half, 4 sacks in the first quarter alone in that game Sunday. And in the second half, they didn't even get a breath on him. He just picked the defense apart. They played a soft zone and allowed these guys to get easy, short completions. And the Steelers didn't make any adjustments for that, which drives me crazy. Mike Tomlin is a defensive coach. He was a secondary coach before he got hired with the Steelers. And the secondary has been the worst issue since he's been here. And that just drives me actually insane as a fan of the Steelers.
Yeah, but sometimes it's easy to coach a position, but then when a position coach is easier because you just focus on that. Like Mike Tomlin, I'm pretty sure in practice he's looking at the overseer of everything. So you got to look at who's our position coaches in the secondary, and they have to be to blame. I mean, Mike is a defensive-minded coach, but I also think it's more so like other teams have to give you. Well, you have to give the Seahawks the credit of fixing the O-line situation and making sure that they protected Russell. And plus, he was on my fantasy, so he actually gave me some points. So I'm actually like glad that he threw those three touchdowns. But that goes to show that the difference in strategy for some teams, and even coming out of the half, Mike Tomlin probably was comfortable with how they were playing, so he probably just said, just keep it to the system. But Pete Carroll, of course, like if you're losing and you're down or your quarterback is getting hurt, you're adjusting in a way to try to win the game. I think the majority of the time when coaches lose, they're playing to not lose and not playing to win. You feel what I'm saying?
I don't disagree. They had chances to put games away, and you saw it last year with Oakland. I said it to my father when we were watching the game when they were winning. They controlled the game. Ben gets hurt. And I'm like, I know what's going to happen here. Dobbs is going to give the lead up, and then it's going to be like, oh, crap, now we have to really put Ben back in here. Ben should have been playing the whole time. What is he not playing for? But as soon as you start losing, you put him in. You have to take advantage of bad teams, beat them. If the Steelers beat the Raiders last year, they're in the playoffs. It's very simple. They took the cake and didn't.
Super simple. And it's not even if we beat the Raiders. If we would have beat the Raiders and then also won that last game against the Browns, we would have been fine. I mean, not the Browns, the Bengals.
Well, they did win that game against the Bengals. They lost to the Saints in that Juju.
Oh, no, yes. We lost to the Saints. I said the Bengals. The Saints and the fumble, and then why in the hell last year we picked up Stephen Ridley? We going to pick up Stephen Ridley so he could fumble? I mean, Juju's fumble is like, okay, Juju. But Stephen really come in and he did the same exact damn thing. And that's just, I don't know. Into this season, we'll just see. One game at a time. That's just how I'm taking it.
Yep.
One game at a time.
One game at a time is right. But let's switch over to a little bit of basketball here to wrap this up. I know you're a Miami Heat guy. Very interesting. Tyler Hero out of Kentucky. What is your opinion here coming up on the season?
Hero, that's my guy.
And
I
bringing
think
over
that he's
Jimmy
very
Butler.
talented.
What's your take on the Miami Heat this season?
I think that Tyler Hero is very talented. I was playing 2K, right? And I'm not even that good in 2K. I was just playing it just to see how the team just meshes. I think honestly, my opinion of the Heat is we'll be a playoff team, probably more of a 7th seed or 6th seed. It just depends on how Jimmy Butler operates with Eric Spoelstra offense, because the Miami Heat way is a defensive minded team. So offensively,
And they
we
got
have to
that
find
defensive guy. They got that defensive guy, Jimmy Butler.
yeah. So we have to find a way to where we can incorporate offensive like good teams don't even have multiple offensive sets. Great players find a way to make others around them great, right? So Jimmy Butler has to find a way to where he can make others around him on the team maximize the potential in which they have. We have like a nice young core. And in Hero, I think to me, he's a first day starter. If I'm starting him because of his shooting ability and his ability to create shots for himself. Now you need that on the floor and with space in this new NBA. So Dragic has to show that he can be a field, not a field general. Like he's not a Chris Paul, but just manage the game in a way to where you're maximizing on every like points per possession in the NBA is something that they look at. In the Heat, I think last year we were ranked like 23rd or some like that. So I'd rather them find a way to where we maximize on every possession on offense, because defensively we're always sound. And then Bam, I'm looking for Bam to take a huge leap this year, because this is your 3rd year. No more D Wade to throw you lobs. So offensively, you have to come out this season with a post game, a mid range game, a lower baseline floater game. I don't know what you got to do, but you have to come out of that shell that they protected you in. And then the bench. I mean, I don't expect much from the bench, but if you could find like 1, 2 people off the bench that come in and contribute 5, 10 points a night, I think that we should be in that conversation to be in the playoff look.
I think Miles Leonard's giving that guy off the bench. He brought him in from Portland this offseason.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if Miles played like how he played in Portland in that game where he had 30, yes.
You're asking a lot on a regular for 30 from Miles Leonard, huh?
I mean, not a regular 30, but I mean, if you give a sparse of like a 15, a 12, and 10, we just need you to come off the bench and contribute. But then also, like, I'm looking at the division in which we play, and it's going to be tough because now the NBA is so open, man. Like, it's just it's a free fall in the East. Maybe I don't know about the West, but in the East, I think whoever can manage their schedule the best. Like you have those load games where you are playing like back to backs and things and such. If you can manage to get 1 out of 1 or take out like two out of the next 3, or like if you playing like 8 games in 10 days and you could get at least 6 out of 8, those type of runs, I think that will be we'll be like a 48 to 50 win team. I won't say past that because I haven't seen them on the court. So from 2K. This is all from 2K.
All from 2K. And to wrap up on my Los Angeles Lakers, what do you expect from the Lakers bringing in Anthony Davis?
You're really a Lakers fan and you live in Jersey.
Hey man, I became a fan because of Kobe. Once I really started watching basketball, and I appreciated the greatness of Kobe Bryant. Problem was, it was on the decline of Kobe, so I really didn't get to enjoy anything. My buddies hammered me for being a Lakers fan, but I didn't get to enjoy any titles. I've enjoyed the really, really bad rosters, of Wesley Johnson, Jordan Clarkson, Robert Sacre, Ryan Kelly. I've enjoyed very, very bad Lakers.
Oh, that's the 2012 Lakers.
Yes, I've enjoyed very bad Los Angeles Lakers. Oh, let me not forget Kendall Marshall. Yeah. Let me not forget any of that.
Kendall Marshall was nice in college, though. Dog. Like, I don't like my thing with these college players. How do you go from being a bucket to being a bum? You go from a bucket to a bum. That's really
you
like
see it often though. You see it often. You had Jalen Brunson recently out of Villanova. You saw I'm forgetting his name from Michigan. I'm a Michigan guy too. I'm forgetting his name.
Miles Bridges?
No, Miles Bridges is from Villanova also. I'm forgetting now.
No, Miles Bridges is from Michigan State. You talking about McHale?
No, he plays for the Hornets. Miles Bridges. No, I'm thinking of like the championship Michigan team a few years back. He played for the Knicks.
Oh, Trey Burke.
Yes, thank you, Trey Burke.
Because Trey Burke is a street baller. He's not. I mean, he's all right in the right system, and I think guys are also system guys. You know, when you're not used to not being the man, you have to adjust your game. That's where athletes in the NBA separate from the NFL. The NFL is 11 on 11, so at some point your talent will show, or what you do well will show. But in the NBA, it's a 5-on-5 game, and individual skill sets actually can win you a game. So if you're used to just being a man, the ball is yours, and you're not used to being on a team where, hey, bro, this guy is better than you. You just have to play your role. It gets tough because Trey Burke is drafted. It's like, I have to take a backseat to this guy. All right, I don't got to do much. So then I guess the morale is just not there to just want to be as great as you can be. And then you're undersized at that. Like, he's only 5'11", maybe 6'2", but he's in between that range. But he's not a Kemba. Kemba just got that dog. You can't teach that.
No, you can't. And it's gonna be a very interesting season, as you did touch on. It's very open. A lot of the moves, created a very interesting playing field for the NBA, and I think that's very good for basketball. As much as I wanted Kawhi to become a Laker, but basketball is going to be very open this season. It's going to be actually crazy to watch.
He was never going to the Lakers, bro. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever, 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 ever.
I think he would have been a Laker if the Clippers didn't make a move for another star. He was not going in there without another star because he knew he wouldn't have been winning anything.
But shit, he the one that told he said, "Yo, if y'all get PG, I will come here."
Yes.
When he met with the Lakers, it wasn't that conversation. He's like, "Oh, Bron, AD, yeah." I don't think he want to play with LeBron though. I can't see Kawhi playing with LeBron.
Well, I just don't. He wants his own thing. Kawhi doesn't want a lot of media attention. That's what I didn't understand about the whole thing when the media was like, "He's gonna be a Laker. He's gonna be a Laker. He's gonna be a Laker." If anybody knows Kawhi Leonard, he likes his own thing. No media attention, and if he went to the Lakers, that's exactly what he would have gotten with Anthony Davis and LeBron.
Yeah, because y'all know y'all love being in the media.
You think Lakers I like it? They don't win anything.
Lakers ain't win. The Lakers ain't even win a pity pat championship, and the Lakers ain't even win they ain't win nothing at all, and they still in the highest sales for jerseys. Their Staples Center is sold out at every game. I mean, it's like, yo, the Lakers are in the news more than anybody else in basketball because of LeBron James. So if LeBron was not there, I just would like to know, what would it look like in Los Angeles?
It'll look like those 2012 Lakers again. What do you think it would look like? It'd be the same thing.
I mean, it probably would be like the old Clippers, like the 2008, 2009 Clippers that were like boots, like terrible. It'll like that. When the Clippers had no wins, like they will win. Matter of fact, the Magic. Remember when the Magic was just disgustingly bad? Or that Suns team that won 12 games, or the Nets team that won like 26, back when the Sixers were horrible. Even the Sixers, I mean, being in Philly in this area is like, they just think that the Sixers is gonna just walk to the championship. I said, okay.
Good luck with that. But again, thanks a lot for coming on the podcast. If you want to give yourself a shout out on social media where people can find you, reach out to you.
Yes, you guys can reach out to me on social media at _Al Petit. That's _ALPETIT with an underscore at the end. And you can follow my show page. We have a live show October 9th at Rowan University Board Recital Hall. October 9th is the homecoming show. And our show page is at Harp and Beanz, Beans with a Z, HARPBEANZ. And you can follow us, and we'll follow you back. We'll keep you not updated, but we'll keep you in tune with everything that goes on in culture. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Harp and Beanz Show. And thank you, guys.
Yes, thanks, Al, again for coming on. Definitely give him a follow. Great content coming from him, and he's doing very well for himself. You can follow the Personal Foul Podcast at foul_podcast on Twitter. We keep growing every single day, and let's keep this thing going. Thanks again for coming on, Al.
Of course, brother, man. And I'll be seeing you soon because you better be at the show.
Yes, sir. I got you, man. I got you.
All right, dog.